how India can tackle this energy demand, that's important. And in today's scenario, do you see growth getting hampered? Because on one side you see depreciation of currency when you look at that, maybe you look at crude oil pricing, etc., balance of payments, etc. Do you see any disruption or you see a sustainable growth from here?
Yeah, so thanks a lot, Sanjay. And thanks a lot to Competitors View and CFO Story Club for inviting me. Yeah, so you're right. So what India needs currently is to fight climate change, crude oil, payment imbalance, and the energy demand for the future. So like President Trump, he brought in one big beautiful bill, OBBBA. We need one big renewable namaste, because that's our traditional way of saying things. So why solar? Because the levelized cost of electricity in solar installations or wind is 29 to 31% cheaper than the traditional fossil fuel installations that go around. In fact, India started its journey in solar in a big way only after 2014, and it's still not as big as it should be. Though the MNRE side says that we would achieve 500 gigawatts of renewable non-fossil fuel energy by 2030. China installs 300 plus gigawatt every year, and that perhaps answers some of the pointers which some of the panelists made earlier. So globally, the energy demand is going to increase because the GDP global growth is 3.2%, whereas the electricity demand is 4.3%. Why? Because the earlier session, like AI, you need more data centers. They are going to consume more electricity. You have all the electrification of the rural landscape is becoming into the mid-sized towns. Everybody is owning an air conditioner today. Everybody is having some kind of an electrical access. So the electricity demand is going up. So to meet this demand, you need to produce more, and that more is going to come from the renewable sources and more likely from the solar. So just to give you some global statistics, like the first 1 terawatt of the renewable energy took close to around 68 years, from 1954 to 2022. In the last 2 years, 1 more terawatt has been added. And of that, the 2 terawatts, 1 terawatt is in China. So that's the kind of renewable energy growth that is going to happen. In COP29, which was held at Baku, there was a complete, the complete proposal was to have close to around 12 terawatts of renewable energy by 2030, of which 7 terawatts will become from solar. So that's the kind of growth that we are seeing coming from this industry. Now, why this? As you said rightly, crude oil. Yes, India had close to around 5% of increase in crude oil. We imported close to around 242.5 metric tons of crude oil in FY25. Whenever there is a depreciation of dollar, even by 1 rupee, it adds to $1 billion of crude oil import bill. We import 90% of our crude oil. And with this India, Russia, US and all this thing happening, I think there is a strong case for the renewable sector to pick up demand there, and which will also help to create employment and address the question raised by Sanjeev that India needs to focus on the capital goods sector. So a lot of renewables will increase the capital goods sector deployment of a lot of solar parks. Like India has increased its focus, but more needs to be done to bring in more and more of the renewable side. So that's my take on the table.
You know what is happening here?